I am lazy and hanging out on the floor.
So in a past video I talked about Little Mermaid and how it shaped my childhood and eventual future, and I figured I would talk about at least 5 other movies which have oddly influenced me in strange ways. Thank you to Lobster800 for the idea. Number 1 would probably be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. In a weird way, actually. My mom and I are really big chick flick fans. I mean, it's sort of something I do with her. It's a bonding thing. Even if it's a horrible movie, we'll go watch it just because it's bound to have a happy ending, blah, blah, blah. It's something we do together. And this was the first time I encountered a movie where it was a beautiful love story, and you definitely knew they cared about each other, but it didn't wrap it all pretty up in a bow. It wasn't perfect, and it was about sort of loving someone through imperfections and because of imperfections, and it just had it was beautiful. Also, it was told so beautifully, like just gorgeous art direction, and just blew my mind and sort of brought me into this whole different non-linear style of storytelling. Funeral Potatoes definitely is influenced by that in the non-linear storytelling, and the flow of one memory into another is definitely replicated in Alice. Number 2 would probably be Slings and Arrows, which was a Canadian TV show, sort of a mini-series. It only had 3 seasons, and I think a total of 18 episodes. It kind of plays like a long movie, and it was just fantastic, and the dialogue and the sort of idea that tragedy could be funny in a very beautiful sort of way. I effing loved it. I love that show. If you've never seen it, just go check it out. Also, Jeffrey Tennant has probably highly influenced my directorial style, and acting for that matter, and just my love of Shakespeare. Not that it didn't exist already, but it definitely fueled that and sort of gave me a new perspective on it. 3, oddly, and I'm almost a little embarrassed to say this, 13 going on 30 had a bizarrely strong impact on my life because I was at a point where I felt that I had to be a number of things in order to be special and in order for my life to be worth it. And I remember going to see that movie with my mom, and I don't even think this movie was even about this, but somehow I left with the notion that I was good enough as I was, and that being not an ordinary person, because I feel ordinary is a very derogatory sounding word, but that being a human being was more than enough. Number 4, which I'm not sure if it influenced me so much as it makes me happy every time I watch it, which would be Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. I know that sounds really, really dumb, but one, I absolutely adore Dustin Hoffman. I think that man is brilliant and fantastic, and I want to just be him. Seriously, it's just amazing. But the absolute infinite whimsy of that movie, and also how it sort of tackles some interesting issues that I think we sort of forget as adults. We just kind of feel you have to grow up too fast, and I definitely had to grow up too fast. And so it just sort of reminds me that it's okay that regardless how old you are, you can still jump on a bed and you can just embrace childhood, and that growing old does not mean growing up. Number 5 would probably be Amélie, which, if you're not familiar, it's a French film. It's beautiful. It's got Audrey Tautou. I can really, really oddly relate to Amélie in that movie. I was definitely a very lonely child. It has a very Alice in Wonderland sort of feel to it, but in the real world, and not being afraid to get hurt, and sometimes knowing that even though your imagination is wonderful and fantastic, that it is still important to live in the world around you, and that people around you are important. And it's another, I love beautiful films, I'm not gonna lie. I love artsy fartsy films, I am that person, but only the ones that really kind of make you feel better about the human race in some way, because we do have a lot of hope in us and whatnot. Actually, yeah, I think I would probably call Amélie a little bit of Alice in Wonderland meets Matilda. I loved Matilda. It was such a good book. Um, anyway, that's about my 5. I'm going to wrap this up because I've already gone longer than I want to. And I will see you guys tonight, 7 p.m. for live streaming. We're going to start early. What? Assuming that this uploads in time. Anyway, I will see you guys later and have a fantastic weekend. What am I talking about? I'll see you tomorrow because it's daily December.